I recorded this video several months ago, but made some editing mistakes and ended up with a couple of sections that had audio but no picture. That's not a good combination for a video. I found it recently, and since my editing skills are much better, I decided to fix it and get it viewable. When I first started this channel, I showed projects from beginning to end in a lot of detail. I do a lot more picking and choosing these days, and this newly edited video reflects that. I love making toys as much as children love playing with them. I suspect you do as well if you chose to watch this. Let's get started. I'm going to show you how I build a project from start to finish. Starting, you have to have plans, obviously. I have 3-ring binders with plans organized by types. These are all toys, these are home decor items, and so on. One of my favorite sources for plans is toymakingplans.com. Their plans are downloadable, so you can purchase a set of plans, print the pages you need, and head to the workshop. This set has 35 pages, and it includes full-size patterns, step-by-step assembly instructions, and illustrations of what the finished set will look like. Pattern pages even include a scale, so you can make sure your printer is rendering these pages at exactly 100%. First thing you have to do after you've cut the pattern pieces out is to select your stock. The actual body of the safari wagon, as I already mentioned, is 1.5 inches thick, so I need some material that's 1.5 inches thick. I plan on painting this, so I'm going to go with poplar. It's relatively inexpensive and it takes paint well. So I will go to my lumber rack here, and 1.5 inches is 6/4 if you know anything about hardwood. If you don't, I have a little tutorial on hardwoods, but I just happen to have a piece here that's not real big. I'll be able to get and I'm making 2 of these, so I'll grab this piece of 6/4 poplar and I'll lay out my 2 pieces for the body of the safari wagon on that. That piece for the body of the safari wagon is about a little less than 9 inches long, and I can get 2 of them side by side. I could cut it to length right at first, but what I'll do, it's a little bit rough, and I'm going to run it through the thickness planer. These sides are attached to the 1.5 inch thick body for the safari wagon. The plans call for 2 5/16 holes that the axles will go through. I'll make them at the drill press, using the laser to line up the bit perfectly. Some pilot holes are also needed for where cutouts will be on the side, and I switched to a smaller bit to make those. I use a backer board to prevent tear out on the back of the workpiece. For some of the animals, I'm going to use up some small pieces of wood that I save for occasions just like this. The easiest way to attach patterns to small pieces like this is to use a glue stick. These are inexpensive and available anywhere you can find school supplies. Just apply the glue to the back of the pattern, making sure you cover it all, and especially the edges. Then just apply the pattern to the wood, smoothing it out if necessary to make sure there are no wrinkles. I recorded this video last year before I purchased my Pegasus scroll saw. This is a jet scroll saw, and I upgraded the upper and lower blade holders to Pegasus chuck. Pegasus makes blade holders for several brands of scroll saws, and in case you're interested in upgrading your saw, I'll leave a link to the video where I made the switch on my jet scroll saw. At the beginning of this video, I mentioned the scale at the top of the pattern pages, and now I'm going to show why it's important. I had one of the assembly pages left over from the last time I made this project. I took a ruler to it and found the scale was about 1/16 off in 3 inches. That may not seem like a lot, but look what happens when you compare a finished piece to each set of assembly diagrams. The piece matches one set perfectly, and the other's off enough to make trying to line up the parts a nightmare. Thankfully, I cut all the parts from a new set of patterns printed out just for this task. So make sure you check the scale after you print a set of patterns, or make sure to print all the patterns at the same time so they're all at least to the same scale, even if not 100%. Gauges call for 7-inch long, 3/4 inch diameter dowels for the bars. I had to cut these from 2 different dowel rods, and this illustrates why 3/4 is only an approximate measurement. The first was loose, so I added some glue to the bottom before putting it in place. I have a piece of MDF underneath so that all the bars will go in at full depth. with a piece of wax paper in between to prevent any glue squeeze out from attaching the MDF to the cage bottom. The second doll was a tight fit, and it required some gentle persuasion from a hammer to become fully seated. I do enough spray painting and finishing that it was worthwhile to build a spray booth. It's at the opposite end of my basement as the wood shop to keep sawdust invasion to a minimum. Here you can see the first coat of paint on top of one of the safari wagons. I applied an oil finish to the animals and spray painted the tires a flat black. I hand painted the people with acrylic paint and a brush. Let me know what you think of the playset in the comments, and please give me a thumbs up if you liked the video. Subscribe if you haven't already done so, and check the screen for a suggested video you might want to watch next.